let's make sure this works, eh? Take four, leadership versus communication. Yesterday, I was literally, don't even know what I was saying, you know, because I actually was fasting. I'm fasting today as well. And, but today is a lot better day. So, you know what, guys, Thor, the King of Thunder, it doesn't seem like it looks like it's gonna hold up, hey? So it's working out well. Before, when I was attempting to do this, we had lightning, thunder, the rain was coming down, there were people, you know, falling over in the street. It was like Melbourne, oh, there's change of weather and people start freaking out. That's okay, we're here and we're gonna rock it out. And I'm going to be putting on a lot better performance than I did yesterday. Nathan, Liam, Hadford, how are you, bro? And everyone else that is on. So, leadership and communication, they are like sex and chocolate. Yeah, they're like sex and chocolate. Communication and leadership and communication. Let's rock this out. So, any great leader, oh, Sue, good to have you on, sister. Any great leader needs to be able to communicate their leadership message, yeah? But to be a great communicator, you need to be a leader. So, how this works. Leadership and communication can be something that can clash if you aren't doing it the right way. It's like water and oil. You know, it's not supposed to be together. Put vinegar and oil and there you go. Make a salad. But when you can bring these two platforms together, it's like sex and chocolate, yeah? Because when you need to communicate, why are you communicating? Because remember, you can sit here like I did yesterday and just go rah, 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 and you're not getting a response. Because firstly, you aren't leading your way or leading yourself in a way that you're going to communicate effectively and very strongly. Matty G, good to have you on. So this is where a lot of people go wrong. They go, you know what, I'm a great leader, but you can't. Oh, Hollywood and chocolate, there you go. Exactly the way we roll. That's the way we roll, bro. And there are leaders that can't communicate, yeah? And look, the better of a leader you are, the less communication you have to do, because you lead from energy, you lead from example, yeah? So when you do it wrong, so when you lead very badly, and when you communicate very badly, they become a clash, yeah? And that's what happens. A lot of people, when you're a bad leader and when you're a bad communicator, that is when you start to clash. So make sure you get them right. But when you understand firstly and believe, what sort of leader am I? I'm a leader that I lead through messages of strength. I lead through the truth, yeah? I'm communicating that, and I communicate that in all my messages. But if you're a leader that's just going to go, well, I'm just going to make a bunch of people do a few things, and I'm just going to stand up there and quack, 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 and Donald Duck, and the rest of that, that is not great communication, and it's not great leadership. Hello, MK Rod. Awesome. I hope you said your name wrong. Right, not wrong. There you go. I'm being a leader, and I communicated wrong. So, another thing that's really important to understand, that firstly, who are you communicating to? And why are you communicating to them? And through the communication, what's the end result? So I'll give you a little bit of background about me. There's a lot of people that jump on, or there's a lot of still people on my Facebook, you know, that are other leaders, I don't like to say followers, that I don't know. And I'm not going to say, well, let's be arrogant and know how they want to be spoken to. But at the same time, I want to communicate to the world, but more importantly, myself, through the truth, you know, through expression of, you know, loving yourself, through messages of strength, through all of that stuff, yeah? And just let me get over here. And understanding firstly my group of people, that I'm not going to lose myself in the communication or the leadership, yeah? Because if you're worrying about, you become too diverse, oh, but this person and that person, they maybe not like that, geez, I might offend this person. At the end of the day, people are going to be inspired, people are going to be offended, you know, there's going to be so many different things that, you know, pop up. You just need to keep showing up who you need to understand that you're going to be. And this is the thing. If you keep showing up to be a great leader, your communication will follow, because you will become better and greater at expressing your message. yeah? Then when you start to get more of a feel of your audience, then you can communicate even more efficiently and understanding that. If you want to go advanced, if you want to take advanced communication skills and talking about your tonality, talking about, you know, if you're talking about NLP reasons, how to you know, occupy an audience through visual very fast, you know, getting that there, because people like to talk very quick and they want to draw things up and they want to do all that, and some people are going, fuck, these people are on speed. Then you want to talk visual, auditory. Auditory is where you're talking to people that like to hear things, yeah? They like to hear things, like they want to sing their words, like, how's today going, people? Are you getting it? And the auditory people going, yeah, I can get that. And then you've got the kinesthetic people. The kinesthetic people that want to feel every word. They want to feel every situation. They want to feel everything, yeah? And once you're doing that, you'll be going, I go, can you feel that? And they go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can feel it. And that's advanced communication. And you're talking about rapport, you'll talk about matching, mirroring, you'll talk about all these other things, yeah? And that's for another advanced session of rapport building. But if you also want to start talking about how you want to get the most out of people, is how would you be inspired, or who would you be inspired when you're a leader? Yeah. So if you're watching yourself on live streams or in front of, you know, on a stage or whatever it needs to be, would you be inspired? And this is a thing that I say to a lot of parents. Yeah. There's a lot of parents I go, so if you were a kid, or if you were your parent and you're a kid looking at you, would you be inspired? Would you take direction? Would you do any of that stuff? Would you listen to your parent that's or who you're being? And they go, no way. So how would you be if your parents were arguing and they were screaming and they were doing all this? Would you be okay with that? So why do you do it in front of your children? Why do you do that? Why is it acceptable that you wouldn't accept it, but you go to do it? And they go, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. Katrina, how are you, sister? Mina, good to have you on. Dean Adams, good to have you on as well, brother. So all these into play and all these into perspective. Oh, Dean Adams, I was going to say, I'm not too sure I can't remember if you're in Perth, but if you are, make sure you get down to the workshop, man, and it's on me. I'd love to see you, catch up with you and see how all the progress is going. So a lot of the stuff that you really need to be mindful about, people, as well, I think, or maybe you're in Queensland, a lot of the stuff that you need to be mindful about is, again, if you become if you become a gross leader, I say that because there are a lot of gross leaders, and a bad communicator, what will happen is that when you are moving forward, you're going to have resistance, because if you're not communicating what's in here, people are going to get a different idea. People are going to take a different opinion. People are going to go, who is this person? Who is this man? Who is this lady? And deep down, you need to lead yourself, so you need to get the results. You need to speak from experience. You need to put in the work. You need to keep showing up every day. Because if you want to be someone that wants to start some company, do network marketing, become a great coach, start a business, become a father, mother, if you can't lead yourself and you can't communicate, but firstly, you need to create that from within you. If you don't have the leadership, if you don't have the life experience, if you don't have that, then you're not going to be going anywhere fast. And another thing is, you also need to remember as well, it comes down to, if you can't communicate to yourself that you are worthy, if you can't communicate to yourself to get up early in the morning, to do whatever it takes, to love yourself, to have self-realization, to be working on yourself, to be hungry, that's all communication. That's all internal communication. You won't be a great leader. So these go in hand to hand, yeah? They go in hand to hand. And I know this because I am talking from experience. I am talking from, there's times when, you give a lot of energy to people and you show up, and then what happens is you want to have that energy back and you don't get it. And I go, fuck it. Why should I be like that? Why should I always be the solution for people? You know what? Fuck it. I want to be a challenge. I want to become a problem to people. Why should I be that? And that's obviously living at the effect. That's being in the wrong energy. That's not communicating, and that's not leading. That, I'm being very honest with you guys, yeah? So you really need to make sure that you know exactly. Don't say, oh no, I didn't do anything wrong. I know exactly when I do things wrong because I'm doing it on purpose, and people go, oh, but that's living at the effect. Of course it is. We're not perfect. We're not polished. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people go, I've seen a Tony Robbins event, yeah? and he's talking about one of his business partners. His business partner behind his back, or old business partner, what he did was he went and started this whole event without him. He didn't even know about it. He took all the people's money, then he ran. But it came back to Tony Robbins, and it tarnished his name at the start, you know. And he goes, "Motherfucker, I was gonna break his fucking neck." And then someone goes, "Tony, why don't you communicate with yourself better and use the tools to get into state?" And he goes, "Hey, motherfucker, I'll put you into state, yeah?" And you know, if anyone sees him, he's not like, he says that just for a reason. He's not really going to do it. And I found that really interesting. Ante, how are you, bro? Good to have you on. And I found that really interesting because, you know, here is, you know, the cream of the crop, the king of self-development mindset and the rest of it. And he says that as well. He goes, look, there's going to be sometimes I want to get into state, and there's going to be sometimes I want to lead, and sometimes I want to communicate. It's up to me. The more I lead and communicate better with myself, the better the result. But he goes, there's some people out there that don't deserve my leadership and they don't deserve my communication because, you know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. You will get the result if you can communicate to yourself as a leader, showing up, be that great leader, and live the life that you are preaching about, that you are communicating about, that you are, you know, opening your mouth about. You won't have to communicate as hard because it comes easy, it comes natural because you've already done it. You're living proof. So when people will get up, show up, communicate, and be that leader, or not really be that leader, the reason why they have resistance, the reason why I know with my clients, I said, hey guys, are you reprogramming every day? Are you believing this? Do you believe in yourself? Are you getting there? And they're saying, yes, yes, yes. It's all bullshit because the results they're not getting in their life, is a simple reflection of what they are doing or not they're doing, or what the mirror, you know, I call it mirror programming, because it's the mirror programming in you that reflects on the outside. And they go, but I don't know what's going wrong. I said, yeah, I do. You just do not believe in what you're doing or what we're doing. You're not communicating to yourself. You're not being a leader. You're not practicing it. You're not, you know, doing it over and over again. And they're like, they can take the advice or not. Yeah, and I know this because that was me again. Yeah, it was exactly where I wasn't. It was exactly, that was it, because I know through that process, I know through that understanding, I know that I have been there so many times before, because I was just half doing the do. Yeah, I was just half doing the do, and it was getting me nowhere. And again, that's because I had leadership versus communication instead of leadership with communication. It sounds a lot better as well, doesn't it? Leadership versus, if there's a conflict, leadership with communication, there's flow and there's certainty through it. Yeah. Now, I think there's a lot of I don't know if it's the rain comes out. There seems like to be a lot of weirdos that pop out around Chapel Street here. It's a bit interesting. So that's how you will make it gel. Use them together, people, and you will get everything that you desire. Cause a conflict in them because you haven't mastered them and you're not appreciating them. You will have resistance. So again, if you know why you're leading or opening your mouth, your communication becomes easy and effortless because you have led yourself, you have communicated with yourself. You need to have the conversation with yourself many times, and you need to have had the conversation again with yourself that you've got the result. So if you're not communicating to yourself, meaning getting the results, doing whatever you take, sacrificing, using the right mindset, being the energy you need to be the correct, correct thought patterns, that is all internal communication. Yeah. And if you aren't communicating with yourself, you aren't going to be a leader. Yeah, forget about it. That's not going to happen. Where did we turn here? Road closed. I think we're going to go down this way. So through all this process as well, people, it comes down to a really, really clear understanding of who is talking to themselves correctly and who isn't. Yeah, and it's a powerful understanding of, you know, what you do in life and where you're going to go. And I don't know where this detour has taken me, but we will just go this way. And this understanding of where you're going and who you are and the rest of it, you really need to be strong and have that understanding communication is internal programming. Communication is focusing on your visualizations with the right emotion, with the right thought pattern, so on and so forth. And it is very, very important. Just let me move in here. And where that comes from, I would say you need to lead yourself first to communicate. Yeah, you need to lead yourself first to communicate, because I lead to do the internal work. Yeah, I lead myself to do whatever it takes. So fantastic. Okay, leadership comes first. Let's get that one down. So then after you've got the leadership down, then you need to have the right communication. You need to be speaking to yourself right. You need to be doing the right things. You need to be having the right thought patterns, so on and so forth. So all of this comes into perspective. Some people are just fucking retarded. Sorry, some people just don't know how to drive around Melbourne. You're stupid. So people that really need to see that he wasn't communicating or leading himself, like he was supposed to give way and he almost took the front of my car out. But having that understanding, people, firstly, you need to lead yourself. Once you lead yourself properly, then you can communicate. Then you need to keep leading yourself. So it is a back and forth. It's a little bit of a a tennis match that you want to go back and forth to be able to keep it going and being able to lead yourself in perspective. Because if you don't lead yourself, you won't get the communication. And if you stop leading yourself, you will stop communicating, yeah? And that's exactly what it comes down to when you're talking with people. Because if you're not always evolving, meaning if you're not always stepping your leadership up, your communication becomes boring. It becomes null. It becomes like looking at your feet, and you won't lead people because they will go, So you need to be, when you be a great leader, and if you want to keep evolving your business, what if you want to keep evolving your relationship, your friendships, that you need to keep evolving that leadership internally, then that leadership externally, but then it comes down to the communication as well, yeah? You need to make sure that that's where it comes down to. And this is a thing that, I'm always working on my craft, and when you're going wrong, and that's the same thing. Anyone that's in health and fitness, yeah, and I think there's a few personal trainers on here. If you can't lead yourself to go to the gym and then communicate to yourself to have a great workout, because that's what it is. You can easily communicate and go, you know what, I'm going to lead myself go to the gym, but my communication's going to be shit, and you're going to have a really bad workout because your thought patterns are down, you don't have any energy, the feeling, the beliefs, the actions that you take. So once you get these two things down, and the reason why I'm holding this live stream, and the reason why, yesterday my communication leadership was all over the place, and I'll be honest with that, not every day is spot on, then I attempted 4 takes and we got cut off and the rest of it. And so do that. And you know what, people, what I'm teaching you today saves marriages, saves friendships, saves a lot of different things, because if you know how to lead yourself to communicate with anything and anyone in any situation, and then constantly lead yourself, get better, communicate better, constantly lead yourself, get better, communicate better, then what's going to happen with that? You are going to have an amazing relationship. You're going to have amazing, situations, so on and so forth. And that's what it's about, and that's what, you need to get excited about, people, because everything that you do starts from a matter of leading yourself to take a situation or take a step and to lead yourself, and then it is a form of communication to yourself, to another, to others, and there's many different forms from that, yeah? So that's what you really need to be thinking about, people, and that's what you really need to be taking your perspective to, because that is going to take you to another level. So I hope you enjoyed leadership versus communication. But let's do it this way. Leadership with communication sounds a lot more sexy. And like Matty G said, it sounds like Hollywood and chocolate, which is sex and chocolate in our vocabulary, all right? Have an amazing day, guys. Take care. Have some fun. Go and enjoy that. Go and practice it, because remember, it all starts with leading yourself, communicating with yourself, then leading yourself to keep the communication going, lead yourself even better to keep the communication rock and rolling. Hey sister, how are you? I'm going to give you a call soon as well. So have an amazing day, guys. Take care, and remember, it's leadership with communication. Have an amazing one. Send this out to all the people that aren't leading or communicating with themselves. Take care, guys.